extra time.
The test series didn't go the way, the T20 series didn't go your way as well. But is this a good chance to end a tour on a high? Does that give you even more motivation to try and win this ODI series?
Not necessarily. I think, even though we didn't pick up the trophy the other day, we've learned a huge amount, and it's been an extremely productive tour so far for us in white ball cricket. And I think with the bigger picture always being the World Cup in both white ball formats, you don't always have to win every series in order to win a World Cup. You continuously need to get better. You need to be tested as a side. You need to fail in order to learn. So that involves losing, which isn't fun, but it's part of the journey.
Chris was saying you had a team meeting about the makeup of the one-day team yesterday. Who bats it 3 Owen?
You're going to have to wait until tomorrow, Jeremy, to find that out. We have plenty of options. I think we're spoiled for choice in batters who certainly want to bat in the top four. It's very similar to the T20 makeup. And again, throughout the one-day series, we'll see guys given opportunity more so than we did in the T20 series. So, it's going to be exciting, playing 3 games at the same ground against a very, very strong Indian side is a huge opportunity for everybody to go out there and both get back into the frame of mind and the pace of 50-over cricket, but also guys who haven't had opportunities to really put their case forward in both formats.
How would you rate the importance of this series, Owen? Because Chris was saying yesterday, it's not a consolation prize.
No, not at all. I think given the World Cup around the corner, playing any international cricket at all is a huge opportunity for guys who have been here and been on the fringes and not made selections so far. And when you score runs or take wickets away from home, there's always a huge incentive to try and push your case forward. On top of that, obviously we have World Super League points at stake in order to qualify for the next World Cup, albeit down the line quite some time away. Obviously plans towards that are always in place.
Is it a chance though to use some of the guys who've been in India but not been playing? Obviously people like Billings, Livingston and Mo, who of course didn't play the T20s.
Yes, absolutely. We see the 50-over format at the moment. The role is playing in between the 2 T20 World Cups as a building block for our squad, and that's not compromising performance at all. We feel as if we have an extremely strong squad outside of our final 11, regardless of the format. So certainly it'll present opportunities for guys like that.
You had earlier said that you wanted to play on turning tracks to prepare better for the T20 World Cup. Would you want to play the 3 ODIs on turners, and do you expect you would get these sort of pitches?
I don't know if we'll get these sort of pitches. Historically, Pune hasn't really turned. It's normally quite a high-scoring ground, smaller than most, good outfield, and some dew in the evenings. So I'm not expecting the pitch to turn, but if it does, it'll be a really good experience for us.
And another question would be, Ben Stokes played all the test matches and T20. So was there a temptation to give him a rest in the ODI series, looking at he might play the entire IPL and then the 5 test match series against India later this year?
Obviously, we've looked at various periods of rest for Ben, and this isn't one of them. There could be potential when we get home during the summer, again, dependent on our circumstances around biosecure bubbles and how often he's seeing his family. But given that we play 3 games in 5 days and Ben staying on for the IPL, it would have just meant that he was staying in his room here in Pune or maybe Mumbai and sitting around. So Ben was very keen to play, so he wasn't considered.
There was a lot of talk about this series not being the priority with the Ashes and the T20 World Cup coming up, but any series where you head into as world champions must give you a confidence booster.
Absolutely. And I think when you don't necessarily have to be ranked number 1 in the world as well, but when you're one of the top ranked teams playing against another top ranked team, there's always a lot at stake. And I think over the years, having not being considered one of those sides when you play against a really strong team and come out of it having been productive with runs, wickets, and results. It does help build confidence and learn a lot within the team.
And what can you guys learn ahead of? I know it's not the same format as the T20, but you can still learn stuff ahead of that World Cup in October, I presume, in this format.
Absolutely. And I think building, like, trying to envisage where 50-over cricket is going to be in 3 years' time is quite difficult. So the challenge for us is always trying to explore and push the limits as much as we can, given the conditions. And I think in conditions that are a little bit alien to us naturally, like India, it's always nice to get out of your comfort zone and learn more about your team and your players to try and, make mistakes and learn from them.
Moeen Ali's had a tough time, as you say, starting with positive for COVID. Do you sense his frustration, or is he able to take these setbacks pretty much in his stride?
No, he certainly takes them within his stride. And I think, the little period that Mo spent at home before this series has done the world a good. He's come back certainly refreshed and with plenty of energy. And he's a very relaxed guy who always has a reasonable perspective on life and sport and the role that it plays within society. So he's traveling really well.
Joe Root is missing from the ODI series. Of course, understandably, he's been rested given the excursions of the Test summer. So how do you expect that to change the dynamics of your top order? Can we see someone like you or Ben batting a little higher up, or how is that going to affect things?
I hope it doesn't change the dynamics too much. Obviously, losing Joe Root is obviously it leaves a massive hole for a guy who scores at a run a ball and averages 50. He's an exceptional player and has been for a long time. So we will miss him. But it's just going to be a matter of somebody slotting in at 3 and going about it in their own business.
Do you have a view on whether he should come back out to India for the IPL or rest completely? It's
all depends on the outcome of the investigative stuff that the medical team will do. They'll determine the best rehabilitation program coming back, and we'll go from there. We fully trust all of our medical team. They've been outstanding in regards to player welfare and player rehabilitation, and that trust is all.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.